Hi everyone and welcome back to another week of Dishes with Draco. This week we're going to be doing something a little bit different and making our very own peanut butter. So you've probably heard us talking before that we use a lot of peanut butter. Draco absolutely loves peanut butter and we use it to give the dogs things like their medicine or just for treats. We figured we go through a lot of plastic. Peanut butter usually has a lot of added sugar and preservatives, or it has palm oil, which is not good for the environment. So we thought, why not try something a little more sustainable and make our own peanut butter? Not only is it healthier, but it's more eco-friendly. Long story short, we ended up buying 25 pounds of unshelled peanuts. If you're like my dogs and they get excited by absolutely any box that comes through the door, be careful when opening, especially if you're using sharp scissors. The first step in this process is shelling a ton of peanuts. Basically, you're just going to crack the shell open, separate the shell from the peanut, and continue until you have several cups worth. You might think that it's kind of a waste having tons of peanut shells, but they're actually very beneficial and can be used in several different ways. For example, if you have a cat, peanut shells are perfect for litter. This might also be one of the first videos where you see Draco for any substantial amount of time. And what you probably haven't seen is that Draco is actually a huge mama's boy and likes to be around me 24/7, which I am not complaining about. Fun fact, when I first got Draco, I was so obsessed and in love that I actually carried him for probably the first 6 months of his life. No joke. Thankfully for Draco, peanuts actually have a ton of health benefits, and peanut butter can be a great healthy substitute for treats and things like that in your dog's diet. Peanuts are high in protein, high in healthy fats, and have tons of vitamins and minerals. They also help protect against neurodegenerative disease and can help with lowering diabetes, build strong bones, and prevent things like gallstones. After shelling, making your own peanut butter is very, very easy. The first step is taking your peanuts minus the shell and spreading them out on a baking sheet to be roasted. You're going to roast them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes. Because this is our first time making peanut butter, we wanted to try a couple different recipes, so we're going to be making 3 different types of peanut butter today. The first type of peanut butter we made specifically for the dogs. It has absolutely no additives, it is just roasted peanuts. One of the reasons this particular recipe, just using the roasted peanuts, is so good for dogs is because it doesn't contain excess salt, sugar, or oils. First, you're going to pulse the nuts until they're chopped up pretty finely. After that, you can go to a blend setting on your processor. We found that making peanut butter came in 4 stages. The first stage was when you had your nuts that were finely chopped and they had kind of a powdery texture to them. The second stage, the oils are kind of breaking out a little bit more and the peanuts start to clump together. They're still fine, but they haven't quite gone to a creamy, smooth consistency yet. In the third stage, you're going to see that the peanut butter is starting to form. It's becoming a little bit smoother and it's starting to look a little bit more like butter. In the last stage, it's going to be very finely blended and you're going to see that smooth, creamy peanut butter texture that you're used to seeing in store-bought peanut butter. We found that this process took about 10 minutes per batch. Usually you didn't start seeing that smooth, creamy peanut butter until about 8 minutes in. We pulsed on 1-minute cycles and we made sure that in between each cycle we scooped out the peanut butter and the peanuts that were stuck on the bottom to make sure everything was mixed in consistently and thoroughly. The second batch of peanut butter we made was with an additional 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. That's it, nothing else. We followed the exact same process as with the first batch. However, we did find that because of the additional coconut oil, this batch was actually a little bit thinner and runnier. The last batch of peanut butter we made was actually sweetened with a little bit of maple syrup, approximately 2 tablespoons. We noticed that this one clumped together and became a lot firmer than the other batches, so we actually added a tablespoon of coconut oil to help loosen it up a little bit. Again, we followed the exact same steps as the previous 2 batches. If this is your first time giving your dog peanut butter, do so while monitoring them just to make sure they don't have an allergic reaction. Peanut reactions aren't very common in dogs, but they can happen, so just be aware. Finally, my baby gets his fresh homemade peanut butter. I think he loved it as much as we loved making it, and we hope your pooches love it too. Again, this was such a fun thing for us to do, and it's such a healthy alternative in comparison to store-bought peanut butters that contain so many different preservatives and fillers and additives. This is so much fun, and we highly recommend it. Not only is it a nutritious and fun treat for your pup, but it's also a really fun experience to make and much more environmentally conscious. As always, we're super happy to have you here at Dishes with Draco, and we hope to see you again next week. Thanks for watching!